All right. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Fireside Chat with Waytat. Um, this time, we are we're gonna be doing a tier list again because I'm kind of realizing that I like those more than doing the random topic. Also apologize for uploading this late. Being entirely honest, it's kind of easy to forget sometimes. Um, but as you are able to see on the screen, we're actually doing a Helldivers tier list. Um, the reason being that this has become easily one of my favorite games. It is so much fun, both alone and with friends. And so I figured that I would go through a tier list because I have thoughts. I have thoughts on a lot of these. Um, so yeah, with that, let's just get into it. And we are starting with um the machine gun right here. The On the wiki, it's the MG43. I mean, it's just the machine gun. Um, I mean, also like obviously these tiers, the self-explanatory. I'm actually gonna put. I mean, it's been a while since I've used the machine gun, but I'm gonna say it's like a solid B. Um, my reasoning being that it's not like the best. Obviously, it's the stratagem that you start with. But it's not awful. I think it's still viable for a long time, and I mean it's higher firepower than like some of the stuff I prefer, but like it takes way too long to load, and that can kill you sometimes. And that's like especially bad for me because I always choose to reload at the worst possible moment. So, um, yeah, but it's good, but no, no, it's B tier. Anti-material rifle. I'm actually gonna put in. Actually, I'm putting that in S tier. I love the anti-material rifle. Um, it is the thing is that when you're fighting against the bots, which as of recording we have to deal with again. But when you're fighting against like bots, as really good. Um, I think against like most other Cause I'm thinking about like the Terminids. It's not great against the Terminids, but like if you can outrange them or you're working with a group, it's super super good. And then with the bots, it's just good all the time. I mean, you do need something to like clear out jungle. That was a big problem I had while using it was I couldn't see what I was shooting at all, just because I was fighting at night in the jungle. Um, yeah, it's a solid piece of equipment. Um, Speaking of solid, we have the stalwart. Um, yeah, that's going in A tier. That is my preferred machine gun. It's really really strong. Um, well, it's not like really really strong. It's good. I honestly I just like it because you can move while reloading it, which I mean I use the machine guns mostly when I like panic. So like I'll panic, realize oh shit I'm about to die, if I don't pull out this big ass gun right now, and then I just lay down on the trigger. So it's good that you can move while reloading it. So yeah, yeah. This is the expendable. Yeah. I have the wiki pulled up because I didn't remember the symbols for some of these. The expendable, I'm gonna put a D. It's just awful. It's terrible. Well, I don't hate it. It's good. It's just one shot, and then you have to either go back to the resupply or like have someone like muling it around for you. And nah, I can't do that. It's again, it's not bad. Um, if you have someone who doesn't want a third weapon, which yeah, good luck trying to find someone who doesn't want a third weapon when like all these support weapons are really really good. Um, yeah, don't fuck around with this thing if you can avoid it. Um, the recoilless rifle. I'm putting it at a B tier. I don't use it, but it's good to have in a team. You know, like especially if you don't have like someone with an anti-material rifle, or like really big, uh, like explosive stratagems. It's really good to have. Um, but it's otherwise it's just eh. Like because if you're the one carrying it, you're always going to be the one doing the most dangerous dumb shit. Because that's like in my experience, that's who we make do the dangerous dumb shit is the person uh with the recoilless rifle. Um yeah, and then flamethrower we're gonna put in D tier, mostly because there's no F tier on the tier list. That's kind of what this is, but I'm not. Eh. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that goes down here because this is only useful if you're dealing with terminid swarms, which at a certain level you stop dealing with. At a certain level, you start dealing with like big terminids, and this is really only good for like the warrior. I, I come from Warhammer. The medium sized bugs are just called warriors because of Tyranids. But like, yeah, this is like when you're dealing with like the warriors, like the big ish bugs. They're like your size. Like those things and smaller, the flamethrower can take care of. Otherwise, like it just sucks. It doesn't do a whole lot against bots. It's a really close range, so you're getting up close and personal with terminids. And also, like, if you catch something on fire and then walk through it, you're probably going to die because fire deals a lot of damage to you really fast. Then we got the autocannon. I love the autocannon. Um, I mean that and the stalwart are like my go-to uh support weapons. If I don't have something on my back, I'll take the stalwart. No, if I have something on my back, I will take the stalwart. If I don't have something on my back, then I'll take the autocannon because it's just too good. Um, I mean, good against. I was gonna say good against single targets, but it's kind of overkill. But it can also take down like the sentinel walkers. It can take down the like bile sprayers. Um, I mean, you can also use it to take down objectives and some buildings, not all buildings, but you can use it to take down some buildings. So it's like super super good. Um, I actually don't have the railgun yet. Um, here let me. I'm gonna see if I can take a look at like. Yeah, I don't have the railgun. It's kind of one of the few things that I don't have. Trying to remember. Oh no, one of my friends did use a railgun. I'm remembering it now. I'm putting in D tier because he killed me with the railgun. Because he put in unsafe mode, and fired it, and it killed me. It did not kill him, the person using it. It killed me, who was standing right next to him. So I'm putting it in D tier just out of spite. Okay, the spear. I also don't have because that's like end game stuff. Um, I'm looking at. Oh, yeah, it's the lock on one. Um, I feel like this one might be my first C tier because like it doesn't have. Well, actually, you know what? Viable on the right mission, but for almost the exact opposite reason of the flamethrower. Because this seems like it'd be always useful, but that unless you are targeting a specific thing, it's really wasting how valuable this is. Like the flamethrower is viable on the right missions because it's almost useless, and this is viable on the right missions because it's too useful. Um, and the kinds of things that you can target with it are like way bigger than what you should um than would like allow you to just use this, whenever you want to. Okay. So now we're on to the orbital bombardments. Uh the Gatling barrage. The Gatling barrage I'm putting in C tier. It's okay. It's not like it's not a bad option at all. It's just eh. It gets the job done. I'm not saying that doesn't get the job done. It's just not something I'm like. Once I got other stuff, I kind of stopped taking it because I realized like, wow, there's a whole lot of other better options than this. I mean, it's a great option starting out, but eh. The airburst, I'm kind of putting in the same tier. It has a better spread, obviously, and that can make it do a lot more damage. I don't take it, um, because it does. I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. Um, I mean, otherwise, like my explanation's basically the same as the Gatling barrage. That being said, the 120 barrage is A tier, so inaccurate, so shitty to use, because it's so inaccurate and so close range, never hits the thing that you're aiming for, but I love it. I love explosions, I love bombs. Which is why it should not be any surprise the 380 is getting an S tier. It is it is a little bit more than 3 times better than the 120. Like I can't describe to you the joy that I feel dropping a 380 and watching all of my friends run away. It's again, it's indescribable. Like the armor loadouts that I take and stuff, and like my equipment loadouts are almost always built around using the 380 because it's just that good. Also, it gives you some cool hero moments where like you can like stay behind and like hold the line while everyone else gets out of there, and you huck the 380 and keep laying down fire, uh, while the 380 is just fucking everything up. So okay, the walking barrage. You could see how I'd put this higher, but I'm putting it in B tier just because the walking barrage. Again, it's cool, um, and I do really like it. Um, but it's one of those ones that I see my friends using a lot more than me, and I don't understand the appeal because it's like the other two, the 120 and the 380, and like you can predict it a lot better, and you can actually put it where you want it to go. Um, but just doesn't spark joy. There's not that feeling of like, oh, I'm using a big fuck off gun. It has the feeling of like it's gonna be a weird poll, but the those like God, this is gonna make me sound like a psychopath. Like the drone strike videos, like from the U.S. military. It feels like one of those where like you're just watching a screen, and then boom, and then you hear a guy like very calmly say like target eliminated. Like it doesn't spark that joy of like dropping bombs. Um, Still cool. The orbital laser. This this one I'm also putting at a B because I might be thinking the wrong thing. I might be thinking of the railgun down here. I am thinking of the railgun. See, I don't think I have the orbital laser. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Um, yeah, I don't think I have the orbital laser. Do I? Um, yeah, I'm gonna keep it at B tier because okay, I don't remember if I have it or not. I probably don't. Um, because it's expensive. But I don't I don't remember if I like it or not. And I don't remember if I've seen it used before. It sounds cool. But it also does have the caveat of like, hey, use this against the big things because you only have a limited number. I'm not a huge fan of that. Okay. Railgun I'm putting in C tier. Now, this sounds crazy to Railgun fans, but it's because it only hits one thing and then it fucks off. Like, yes, instant kill on a big thing, which is great, but also feels a little lazy because like the Hulks and like the Brood Commanders and like the tanks, you can kill those as a single person on foot. You don't need the stratagem for that. You need the stratagems because you're one dude or four dudes against like two, three, 4 dozen enemies that have you outgunned and outmaneuvered. Like you don't need you don't need something to take down one big guy. You need something to take down all the small guys so you can take care of the one big guy. Um, but I'm not putting in like D tier or viable in the right mission because I understand how that's useful. There's times where like something big is laying down fire and like pinning me down. Um, so I understand the usefulness, but yeah, in that situation, I'd rather have something a lot better. Which speaking of not a lot better, we have all of the four of the eagle um strikes. Uh, these are so strafing run, and airstrike. I'm putting in D tier because they're not the worst stratagems in the game. Obviously, the flamethrower exists, but they're also I don't know. They're underwhelming. Like again, as someone that likes bombs and big explosions, like I really wish that they were just better. Um, So yeah, And then, honestly, it's kind of the same for the cluster bomb. It just gets one higher because I think it's cooler. I also don't. I like how the eagle strikes work, but I'm not a big fan of them. Like, I love the design. I think it's a very creative way to design the weapon strikes. Um, I just personally would prefer having a fucking orbital bomb rather than dealing with all of the like resupply things with the eagle. The napalm, I will say, I am putting an A tier because that is like the main thing that I use to get rid of like jungle terrain when I'm using the anti-material rifle. Also, it is really good at clearing out terminids. I will say the big usefulness for the airstrikes is if you don't have grenades to blow up like bug nests and stuff, like that's when it's really, really useful. At least to me. Um Jetpack I'm also putting an A tier, because I mean fuck you. I like it. It's cool. Jetpack is cool. And there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Uh so yeah. Um, then we got the Eagle Smoke Strike, and actually, I'm gonna put this and the Orbital Smoke Strike in the same spot because under the right circumstances, we're under heavy fire. I understand, but you know what's just as effective? A 120 barrage, but the 120 barrage might actually kill something, which I think makes it a lot more effective. Um, and I mean, also like as far as eagle strikes go, I feel like this is really under like okay. This might sound crazy to you, but if I'm going to drop smoke somewhere, like something to obscure me or to cover me or like blind my enemy, instead of doing that, I would much rather drop something that will hurt my enemy on their heads, you know? So like and this is not obviously talking about real life. Real life, there's reasons to use smoke grenades, but we don't give a shit about maintaining these planets, like environmentally speaking, or keeping them intact. So fuck the smoke. I don't need the smoke. Just drop me like a couple of 120s. There's been more than one time during a firefight where I went to go like recollect things and I dropped the 120 directly on my head. Didn't hit me once. Didn't hit me once. Surrounded by enemies. They didn't hit me once because they were panicking and freaking out from the 120s, which reasonable. And I got out of there multiple times. Like I don't need smoke. I can like danger close a 120 and get in and get out. Which the 110 millimeter I'm putting C for kind of like the same reason as the cluster bombs, and then B tier I'm putting big bomb. Uh, yeah, the 500. I yeah, I I like it. I really like it. I don't know. I don't know. I just really I think it's cool. I just think it's neat. That's the only explanation you're gonna get out of me. It's just neat. Also to keep this under half an hour, I'm gonna have to speed up a little bit. Um, so with that, Oh, sorry. Um, Precision Strike is going with the Gatling Strike. Same reason. So let's put them together so I know. Gas Strike going in. Ooh, no, it's going in D tier. I like the Gas Strike. It's just worse objectively than Direct Strikes and Gatling Strikes because it lingers. Those other two are really useful because they don't linger, and the primary reason to take this is because it lingers. It's gonna be very funny in a couple seconds, in a little bit. Um, the EMS strike is again viable on the right missions because here's the deal: I like bombs, I like the damage. This doesn't really, as far as I know, this actually doesn't do any damage. So of course I'm not really gonna like it because like there's not. It has the same effect as like the smoke effectively, but just better. Okay, and then we get to the heavy machine gun emplacement. I'm gonna give that a solid C. Um, that feels like something that you really need a friend for. Which is fine. I have friends that play it, but I don't know. I'm not super sure about this. Um, the shield generator, S tier, obviously, excellent against bots. I have never seen it in use against Terminids. I assume it would be really good against Terminids as well. Well, actually, no, maybe not because they're all melee. But I, I've only seen the shield used like once, so I'm not gonna say like it's the best thing ever. Um, but I would, yeah, yeah. I, this is not gonna be under half an hour. I think if you made it this far, you're not upset about. Uh, the Tesla Tower, I think, shocks things as it comes close. Um, oh no, it does the same thing as the EMS. So no, not super big on that. Now, this is the part that's going to be funny because I actually think the mines are S tier. Now, I know what you're thinking is, wow, what a fucking idiot. And you're right. It's stupid. They should not be some of my favorite stratagems in the entire game, but they are because of one thing and one thing only. Me and my friends were playing during one of our game sessions, and we told one of them, uh, Kevin, by the way, Kevin, if you're hearing this, I don't apologize. This is just fucking funny. You're gonna have to deal with it. We told him over and over again, hey, don't go over there. I threw landmines down. Hey, don't go over there. I threw the landmines down. Don't go over there. There's landmines. And he walks directly into a landmine while ignoring both of us, blows up, loses all of his stuff, and then lands reinforcements into the minefield and has to navigate out of it. And the whole time was pissed at me for throwing down the landmines. And it's just like one of the funniest moments playing the game of like walking through the minefield. Um, like watching him walk through the minefield and almost blow himself up a bunch of times because he's not paying attention. Because like the mines are not invisible. Um, so yeah, they're S tier because like they're a great meme build. Yeah. Okay. Um, the supply bag. Supply bag I'm putting in D tier because I can see how that would be really useful when playing with friends. It's not something I ever take or are very interested in taking. If I have an open back spot and like I find it, I'll take it, but like it's not my preferred back thing. Okay. Oh. Uh grenade launcher? Yep, grenade launcher. A grenade launcher is getting a C tier because it's not like the worst thing. There's obviously a lot better support weapons, and like I've never taken the grenade launcher, but there's been a lot of moments where I've realized like, wow, the grenade launcher would really work really well here. Have I still ever taken it? No. No, but there's a lot of times where I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be a cool stratagem to have, and then I decide not to take it because I want something cooler. Like the 320. Um, okay, the laser cannon is getting a D tier because that's one that I've seen used a lot, but I don't like watching how it's used because it doesn't look like it does a lot of damage, and it overheats, and I think it can hurt you a little bit. So yeah, I'm not. Also, like every time that one of my friends uses one, I almost immediately run out right in front of it and get my head cut off. So a little bit of like some pettiness there too. Okay, the guard dog. Yeah, this is the laser guard dog. Uh, yeah, B tier. I don't use the laser guard dog for some reason. I have both guard dogs. I don't use the laser one, but I use the ballistic one. Both the guard dogs are really good. I think the laser one is better because it doesn't need to go back to the backpack. The guard dog, like the ballistic guard dog, does. Um, which means that by the end of the missions, sometimes there's like 2 or 3 guard dogs laying on the map just because they're out of ammo, and I decide to dump it instead of resupplying. Um, okay, and then the ballistic shield I've never actually used because it doesn't really fit my build because I use a lot of like two-handed weapons. But if I had like a submachine gun like tank build, I would use that a lot. Arc thrower is D tier. I'm I'm gonna put it down here not because it's viable on the right missions. It's because it's dog water. And there's no reason why you should ever choose to take an arc thrower. I know why it's in the game because it's interesting and kind of rounds out the the options, but this is objectively the wrong choice for any mission. It's bad. Just straight up bad. Um the shield generator backpack. I'm putting an A tier. I don't have the shield generator backpack, but like that is a cool thought. I assume it runs out quicker than like the bubble shield, but that would be cool to take. If there weren't like other backslot items up here, like the jetpack or the autocannon, and that would almost always be an auto include because it's really good for like defensive stuff and especially when fighting against the bots. Um, but yeah, it's just that there's too many other options that are good for the back. The turret. I mean, this turret's a C. Middle of the road. It's an extra gun, which is nice. This turret is a B. The Gatling turret's really good. I like the Gatling turret a whole lot. And it's basically just a straight improvement from this turret. I mean, that's basically it. And then we get the rocket turret. No, the mortar turret, which I think is an A tier. Because again, it's basically a straight upgrade off of this, except it has like a higher chance of friendly fire and killing you, while also having a lower chance of friendly fire because it arcs over you. Um, but I like it. I especially like it when like there's like either a bug nest nearby or like one of the um like the bug hole, the bussy, I guess it would still be the bussy, like pops open and like this just bombs the shit out of the wave of bugs. Um, which brings us to the autocannon sentry, which I think that's actually also C tier because I like this a lot, but it's gonna waste all that ammo like really fast because it the benefit of the autocannon is that you can decide what dies. The problem with this is that it's like having an extra guy in your squad, except he doesn't understand how the game is played and thinks you can like thinks that's a rail shooter. So this is bad, but it's not bad enough to be put down here. I guess I mean these aren't like bad, but they're not great. They're not great. Did I not even say anything about the quasar cannon? I just put the quasar cannon down here. Wait, did I put the quasar cannon? Is the Oh, the quasar cannon isn't even on this tier list. Well, what do you know? Okay. Um, Rocket Sentry. Rocket Sentry, I'm also putting in C tier for the same reason, but it's like wasting like the mortar turret's time. And I'm actually going to put the mortar turret up here because I think like the EMS mortar turret, because I think this is like the one viable way to have the EMS because it just sits there and waits and then it stuns things automatically for you. I know, obviously, for I don't think I need to explain. Reinforce, resupply, S tiers, those are always going to be useful. And then SOS, I think, is viable in the right circumstance. Because I don't know. For me personally, because I don't play like open online, so it doesn't really ever affect me. But I can definitely see how like this is very useful when you're in a pinch. But yeah, that's my tier list. So thanks for watching, I guess. See ya. Make sure to check out the episodes this week. I don't know how I just decided to forget to say that, but yeah, check out the episodes this week. Make sure to follow the podcast, subscribe to the channel. There is a thing that I'm going to be trying to do starting episode 40. Mostly unrelated to anything that we've done on the channel, or for my podcast. So try to like follow that, see how you like it. I'm not going to spoil it just yet. It'll come out on its own. I'm also going to start doing episode descriptions and ads. So hopefully that has some effect, but yeah. See you next time. Goodbye.